Hey, this is Jeremy from Shine Insurance, and today I've got a special guest on our channel, and his name is Ryan Langley. Ryan is the Vice President Branch Manager of Ruoff Mortgage here in Bloomington, Indiana. He's a mortgage lender, and he has tons of information for us about the 5 steps you need to take before even considering buying a house. So Ryan, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I'm really excited. I've decided I want to buy a house, and I'm going to go out, I'm going to get a realtor, I'm going to start looking at houses right away. Is that what I should do?
No.
And so why not?
Yeah. So getting the realtor is definitely part of the process. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to kind of keep that part of in mind up front. But there's several steps that you should take prior to going out and rushing out and making an offer on a home. The first thing that I would always advise anybody that comes in the office that's just thinking about it, just at the very early stages, is to take care of those things that you know might be an issue in your credit report. Mm-hmm. Let's say you know that you've got some late pays, or you routinely pay late on a credit card, student loans, auto loans, you name it, on the type of debts that you may have out there. Make sure you get your house in order regarding your current debt obligations. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean pay them off necessarily, but that definitely means make sure that you're current on every single payment, and that you have been current on them. If you're habitually late on your payments each month, that's oftentimes viewed as a negative on your credit report, and your credit score will reflect that. Mm-hmm. So that would be one of the very first things that you should think about if you're thinking about purchasing a home, is making sure that everything's up to date and you're paying things on time.
Okay. What's the next thing we should do to get our house in order before buying a house?
The next thing you should consider is taking a look at your finances and getting a good idea of what you feel you may be able to afford. Mm-hmm. That may not be necessarily what the lender will tell you later on, but it's always helpful for a lender if we've got a general sense of the price range that you're looking in. Mm-hmm. For first-time home buyers, it depends on your current income situation. Depends on if you're single, depends on if you've got multiple incomes in a household. There's a lot of factors that you would take into consideration yourself, and there's all kinds of calculators out there online that you can log on and see to get a general sense of what a payment may look like. And a very good starting spot would be, what are you paying in rent each month? Are you struggling to make that payment as it is right now? Or, are you making it easily and you could afford some more payment? So a very good starting spot would be to kind of look at where you're at on your rent payments versus what you might be able to afford on a monthly basis on a mortgage.
Okay, cool. If I wanted to look up one of those calculators, what might I choose for my Google search?
Well, you can go to ruoff.com.
Okay.
We've got calculators on our website that you can use, and that's typically where I would direct you to go and find a good calculator to use. You can also use any numerous websites, bankrate.com. There's a lot of other ones out there that would be sufficient.
So mortgage calculator.
You can type in mortgage calculator and you'll get 100 different options on finding it, and they're all going to be accurate. You put in, for the most part, most first-time home buyers are going to be looking for a 30-year fixed mortgage. So you type in mortgage calculator, use the rate that they've got in there just for an example. That doesn't mean that's what rates are currently, but that does give you a general sense of where you would be on a monthly payment.
Okay. So I'm going to get my credit in order. I'm going to look at what I might be able to do as far as a payment goes, using my rent as a great example of a place to start. And then ruoff.com mortgage calculator would be another wonderful place to kind of figure that out. Okay, that's the first 2. What's the next thing I should do?
Next thing you should do, before reaching out to a lender, which will be step 4, but before we get to step 4, step 3 is to start thinking about the preliminary documentation. Yes, it does take a lot of paperwork, or what can feel like a lot of paperwork at times, to get a mortgage, to obtain a mortgage. So, the base amount of documentation that almost every single mortgage lender will ask you for would be a driver's license or passport, the last 2 years federal tax returns, last 2 years W-2s, if you receive W-2s, your most recent pay stub, and your last 2 months complete bank statements that may show any assets that you have available for down payment. So that would be the core group of items that you would need to get. Of course, it will always depend on your situation, depends on if you're self-employed, depends on if you've got additional businesses that are attached to that. So those things can change, but that would be a very good list of things that you should think about just getting up front before even calling the mortgage loan officer.
Cool. And if you didn't write that down, we put it down in the notes right below this video. You can look at the list of things that you should have ready before you even call a mortgage lender. Okay, so that was step 3, get your documentation in order. So step 4, you've kind of already alluded to. Let's go for it.
Step 4, that's when you're calling the mortgage lender and you're setting an appointment. Oftentimes, as a first-time home buyer, it would be helpful to meet face-to-face, but anymore in this day of age where we can access anything online, the vast majority of mortgage lenders are going to have that option for you to go out and apply for a mortgage online. Though anytime a first-time home buyer, if you're looking, the mortgage lending process has become so complex. And there's so many regulations and so many documents out there. Anytime that you can get face-to-face with a lender, I would suggest that you do so, so that they can help thoroughly explain the costs and the fees and everything that's associated with the process. But more often than not, the mortgage pre-approval process should take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. It shouldn't take much more time than that. And if it does, you can go back to our previous video and hear what I have to say about the communication piece. It all comes back to communication.
Yeah, that video is the 3 different things to think about when you're choosing a mortgage lender, and you can see that on the Shine Insurance YouTube channel as well. So step 4, going ahead and contacting the mortgage broker and getting pre-approved for a loan. Okay, what's step 5?
Well, as step 5, what I did have is you want to save some down payment. Well, that may not necessarily be true for everybody's scenario. We do have loan programs where you can have 0% down. Loan programs where it only takes 3% or 3.5%, and that money may be coming from a relative in the form of a gift. But I would say the 5th and final thing that we should discuss, leading up to the mortgage, is get a general sense of who you're going to want to work with as a realtor if you're going to be shopping for homes, and also get a general sense in your homeowner's insurance, which is a very important piece that's always, or oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes overlooked in the beginning stage of the process. Is you want to kind of have a general idea of who you may want to work. And I would always encourage you to use a local insurance company versus going online, just like I would always encourage you to use a local lender versus going online to find a lender.
For the same reasons, because the advice is better, the contact is better, the communication is better, and that's true for I think both sides. Okay, so step 5 was...
So step 5 would be to get a general sense of who you're going to use as a real estate agent, and who you would be using for your homeowner's insurance.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, that sounds really good. So all those things, and I think what's so great about talking about this right now is both you and I see, as we see people purchasing homes, that they don't do a lot of this stuff ahead of time. And then it becomes a disappointing scenario. Instead of, I really think buying a house should be fun. Yeah. But it can very quickly turn into a lot of work, tragedy, disappointment, things of that nature. And I think the 5 steps you've talked to us about today will help folks to avoid that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if folks want to come and find you for a mortgage, how can they do that, Ryan?
Yeah, best way to contact me would be to call phone number here in Bloomington, which is 812-650-3800. Can also be found online at www.ruoff.com. That's RUOFF.com. Or send an email directly to ryan.langley@ruoff.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule today to help us to understand mortgages a little bit better.
Thank you for having me.
If you enjoyed this video and you feel like you want to learn more about the new home buying process, we've got another perfect video for you. If you go to our YouTube channel and check out the New Home Buyer's Guide, it lays out from beginning to end the whole process, from thinking that you want to buy a house all the way through the purchase, process and the closing, and even talks a little bit about your mortgage payment afterwards. So definitely go and check that video out. And then, of course, please subscribe to our channel. We love to put out great information for you. We're happy to have it in your inbox as soon as it goes live, and you can check it out and learn from it. And of course, if you feel like great things are happening at this channel, please do share on your social networks. All right, until the next time, have a wonderful,